Okay, so here we go. Today we're going to talk about the Electoral College. Sorry that was a little bit late. Zach and I played a couple games and did some other stuff around the house, but now we're here. We got to get ready to go. So today we're talking about the Electoral College. We're going to talk about the Electoral College. We're going to talk about the 12th Amendment. We're going to talk about the problems with the Electoral College, difference between a winner-take-all and district-based bonus plan, how it was originally designed, and kind of allude back to your Federalist 68 reading. Hopefully you took your quiz on that already, and we'll go from there. So start off today. Election 2016, as you guys can see that Donald Trump won pretty handily, 306 to 232. Now, right there, you guys got to see on there that it's going to take it's going to take 270 votes to become president. And we're going to get to that in a little bit later on. The blue states are the one that Clinton won. The red states are the one that Trump won. You guys can kind of see the different areas of what went on. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Up in the upper right-hand corner of your PowerPoint, you guys can see Maine. Maine is a district-based bonus plan state. That's why it's striped red and blue. The only other state with district-based bonus plan is Nebraska. But we will get to that and the difference between that and a winner-take-all shortly. But start off here today. Why do we have the Electoral College? Well, a couple different reasons. We've done this one, back to factions. We got this fear of the majority, that the idea that the people would pick the wrong person, that wouldn't do the best for the country. They also had this fear that the elite would pick the right candidate, so that if they did the two together, that the elite would pick the right candidate for them, and the fear of the majority. Ordinary Americans would lack sufficient knowledge to pick the president. So what they did is they kind of took those two and they put them together. Yeah, we get to make a choice on that life as local, but then what ends up happening is we make a recommendation to the Electoral College, and the Electoral College then chooses by state what we want to be the president of the United States. There's nothing that binds Electoral College members from voting the way that we tell them to. It happens all the time, happened in the last election. Those are 2 elections ago. That's a faithless elector, okay? So we have this faithless elector idea that Electoral College members don't vote the way that the people told them to. Okay, so Electoral College today, technically there's one set of electors, but because electors are now chosen by party and not by us, we don't vote for them anymore. They're chosen by party members. So we have 2 sets of electors from every state. So technically speaking, there's not 538 Electoral College members right now. There's 1,076 Electoral College members. Now, if we jump back to this slide really quickly, let's just take Utah, for example, with our 6 Electoral College votes. Before the election occurs in November, there are 6 Republican electors ready to go and 6 Democratic electors ready to go. And the parties have worked out in winner-take-all elections that whichever candidate wins that state with a plurality of the vote, we'll get back to that again, with a plurality of the vote, those are electors that get to vote. That way, they ensure that no electors, hopefully, knock on wood, don't vote for the other party or a third party. That way, making sure that either one of the 2 parties wins. So each group, each party has their own set of electors now. Now, electors are chosen every 4 years by party loyalists, ceremonial positions, ideas like that. Someone who's a moderate is not going to have the ability to be an Electoral College member for fear that they would be a faithless elector, that they would go and they would vote for someone other than who the party wants them to, because we're voting based off party. Now, because of the 12th Amendment, we'll get to that, and I forgot to post that video. I'll do that right after this. Because of the 12th Amendment, each elector now casts 2 votes still, but they cast 1 vote for president and they cast 1 vote for vice president. Before the 12th Amendment, each Electoral College member cast 2 votes, but both of those votes were for president, with the person who won being the president and the person who came in second being the vice president. Hopefully you can already think of the problems that would originate there, but we're going to come back to that in just a little bit today. Now, how do we figure out the number of Electoral College votes needed to win and how many we have? Well, if you look right here, it's the number of votes a state has in the Electoral College is equal to the number of representatives it has plus the number of senators it has. All right, so we got 435 members of the House, 100 members of the Senate, 3 for D.C., that's the 23rd Amendment, okay? What ends up happening is you have 538 electoral college votes. You divide that by 2, that's 269. Because the Electoral College is a majority-based election, it's not a plurality-based election, it's a majority-based election, that means you have to win 270 votes to be President of the United States. Now, there's two ways that we can award electors by state. The first is really straightforward and easy. This is the winner-take-all. Now, in a winner-take-all election, I'm hoping this works, right? In the winner-take-all election, the state awards all its electors, let's say we had 6, based off who wins the most votes in that state. So if you're looking here, right, if you're looking here, whoever wins the state, the plurality of the vote, gets all the Electoral College votes. I'm hoping this works, right? Whoever wins the state gets all the Electoral College votes right there. Now, this is 48 of the 50 states. For Maine and for Nebraska, okay, they have something called a district-based bonus plan. In a district-based bonus plan with 4 different congressional districts, because that's how they determine the number of votes, plus the new senator. So what ends up happening is you could divide a state like this, like ours, if we had this. Now we don't, but if we had this, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So you could win this district, this district, this district, this district, or you could win the whole state. So there's actually 5 elections going on here. You could divide this state up 5 to 1, 4 to 2, 3 to 3. 3 to 3 would be weird, but you have to win a lot, basically one district. So if I won this district and whoever's going against me won the other 3, they would get the bonus. So that would mean it would be 5 to 1. Only 2 states have this. That's Maine and Nebraska. And political parties don't want this because this really leads to the opportunities for states to award their electors to third parties, right? So they wanted to try to prevent third parties from winning electoral college votes, because if they win electoral college vote, that means they're going to have the ability to start to take electors, and that legitimizes them, and then we'll start to break down that 2-party system. All right. So Maine and Nebraska, like I said, are the only 2 states that actually award the district-based bonus plan. Every other state is a winner-take-all state, and if that's true, that means every single type of election is a plurality election. Okay, so originally, if nobody won the Electoral College, then it would go to the House of Representatives. It was the top 5. The 12th Amendment changes that to the top 3. So the top 3 vote getters in the Electoral College would go to the House of Representatives to see who became president. Now here's the kicker with that. Each state then only gets 1 vote, which means that heavily skews towards the small states, okay? So whoever the top 3 are would go to the House, they would choose the president. Same thing for the vice president. Whoever the top 3 are go to the Senate, and then the Senate would choose the vice president. So if no one wins the Electoral College, if nobody gets 270, then it goes to the House for the president and the Senate for the vice president. And this heavily skews the small states because each state only gets 1 vote. All right, so South Dakota with 1 member of the House has the same power as California, which has 53 members of the House. Now, original constitutional provisions. The Electoral College was created as an alternative to popular vote or legislative elections. They didn't want a parliamentary system. They wanted a system where there was indirect elections, where the people had somewhat of a say, but not completely a say. Article 2, Section 1 says Electoral College votes done state by state, which means that they don't all congregate in one place. It's not like Congress. Each state goes and conducts their votes on their own, and the candidate with the most Electoral College votes is president. The runner-up became vice president. This is before the 12th Amendment. The problem, though, is you guys can see that picture in the bottom, is you would have a Democrat and a Republican who might be president and vice president. We're going to come back to that. So we get this 12th Amendment thing in 1803. Check out the video. You guys are going to see this in a little bit. All right. So Trump got to choose his running mate. All right. Because of the 12th Amendment. Now, the 12th Amendment changed Electoral College in a minor way. What ends up happening is each Electoral College member still has 2 votes. But now they cast 1 vote for president and they cast 1 vote for vice president. So this is where running mates come from. So if you see that picture down at the bottom, Trump Pence, Trump said to all Electoral College members who were voting for him, if you vote for me for president, I want you to vote for him for vice president. So what ends up happening is the 12th Amendment gets rid of this idea that you could have members of different parties be in the same administration. Okay, and we'll get to that in just a second. All right, so this idea of a ticket, of a running ticket, this comes out of the 12th Amendment, so presidents get to choose who their vice presidents are going to be. Now, this came about, because there was no primaries initially. Remember, this is caucuses. This is before Andrew Jackson. Candidates didn't necessarily campaign. This doesn't come out until 1796 in McKinley versus Bryan. Remember, Bryan does that cross the gold speech. He's the first guy to actually go start campaigning in only swing states, not just big states or small states or all states. He only goes to where he has the opportunity to win, right? So instead of this idea of skipping something, what they end up doing is they go and they only go to the states that are swing. They're not going to go to states that don't have a shot of winning because they're the other party. They're not going to go to the states that they're really probably going to win because there's no reason to waste time. They only go to states that are swing, right? This is why Ohio and Florida and Colorado and North Carolina and Virginia are big, because they may switch. All right, we call these purple states. So, election of 1796, parties develop under Washington. Hamilton's the Federalist, Democrat and Republicans is under Jefferson. And each party puts up their own candidates and electors during the election, so they each kind of have a set. So what ends up happening in 1796, we get this: John Adams is president. We got Thomas Jefferson is vice president because there's no 12th Amendment. John Adams won the most Electoral College votes. Thomas Jefferson wins the second most Electoral College votes. So you have different party members in the same administration. All right. So this would be Donald Trump, okay, and Hillary Clinton being in our administration, meaning that Donald Trump would still be president, but if not for the 12th Amendment, his vice president would be Hillary Clinton. Not a great system that could be set up there. So we get this election of 1800, same thing happens, all right? Last election, it would have been Barack Obama and Paul Ryan. So Jefferson and Burr tie. It goes to the House of Representatives because nobody gets a majority. Takes 36 ballots. Second time it happens that the member of the president and the vice president are members of different parties. So the 12th Amendment sets up this idea of a running ticket. So now we have running tickets where the president chooses who the vice president's going to be. Okay, so first major defect. Electoral College does not ensure that the most popular person gets elected president. Now, I know what you're saying, hopefully. First slide, that was the goal. But this is a big deal today. When Hillary Clinton wins by 2.9 million votes, people have a problem. It happened in 2000, it happens in 2016. So it shouldn't be a surprise that if you think that the party that wants to get rid of the Electoral College is the Democrats, you're right. Okay, because Trump won 3 states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, by a total of 78,000 votes. 78,000 votes for 3 big states. Here's the kicker. If Clinton would have won those, she's president. She has 273 Electoral College votes. That's how small of a margin it was, right? So Clinton won her states by a lot. Trump won his states by a little. Not all of them, but those 3. As a result, Clinton wins the popular vote relatively handily, but loses the Electoral College vote relatively handily, right? So that's the first one. Second problem, there's nothing in the Constitution that binds electors. People have a problem with this. So this is what they wanted the electors to do. They wanted them to choose who they thought was the best person. Now, this is a faithless elector. If the people vote one way and the electors go a different way, that is a faithless elector. Happened a bunch of times in our country's history, okay? 30 states try to make it a law, but it's really not a law. Finally, election could be thrown into the House. If it goes into the House and it's done state by state, this totally throws out everything we've done with the Great Compromise, meaning that the states are balanced, and also the small states have way more power than big states because each state only gets 1 vote. In order to be president now in the Electoral College, it would take 26 votes if it went to the House. 270 for the Electoral College, 26 for the House. So this is a big deal when it comes to flaws in the Electoral College. So that kind of wraps up the Electoral College. Tomorrow we're going to jump back into presidential powers. We have some stuff to do with foreign policy and military policy and some of the powers he has to run his administration. We'll get those things done tomorrow. Check out the quiz online. I'm going to throw up the 12th Amendment video for you guys right now. I need you to watch that. And then Nixon, sorry, I'll do it in about 20 minutes. I got somebody here. I will throw up the pages you guys need to have. The goal is everything done by Friday. Check out the website about what the AP is doing. The videos I have not seen yet for AP Government, but I'll go back and check. That's it. Hope this is working out. Hope the videos are helping. Shoot me an email. One more thing I got another quiz for you guys going up that simply says, do you want to use House Party or Zoom? I need your email so we can start talking a little bit online like once a week. Hope you're having a great day. Be safe. Be safe. Numbers, J-curve, shooting up. Check them out today. We've already topped yesterday's already in this state. And so we're going up quick, okay? So you guys be safe out there. As always, Shield Dog out.